which hairpin. You've just done bloody 10 laps of the track. You know which hairpin, you scumbags. Oh, bad start. So 24 laps, 24 Sports Classics cars. So we're going to have cars from Classic Sports A and Classic Sports B as they are on Project Homecoming. Classic Sports A are quicker than Classic Sports B. I feel like we've got maybe 12 from each class, but I don't know exactly. The starting grid was based on the results of the previous race that we did in the Classic Sports A class, so everybody should at least be used to the circuit and the type of cars. I think the 190Z is in Classic Sports B, but that's going to be the interesting one. So this is a random class specific race, and we're going to have different cars every lap. But some of them are going to be quicker than others. So in general, Classic Sports A, all of the cars in the Classics A class are all balanced, and all the cars in the B class are balanced. But obviously all the cars in the A class are quicker than all the cars in the B class. So, you know, we might get a situation where someone gets all the B cars first and then comes back through the pack with all the A cars later on or something. But the pace difference isn't huge, so we are going to get a bit more of a proper race, which is kind of nice. It's just we're going to be in different cars every lap. Have to adjust to that every time. But I don't know what the cars are, to be honest. I don't know the lists. I know some of the cars that are in A, and then by process of elimination, I think, is the Sterling GT in B? I don't actually know. I think this is B as well. The 190Z was B. I think the Elena is B. The Sterling was B. So I haven't had a A car yet. Yeah, I wanted to do a random race. I wanted to do it with some Sports Classics cars. Best class. And then it will all come together by the end. As I always say in these class specific races where everybody gets the same cars by the end, it will all come together to be very close on the last few laps, as it normally is, as the field comes back together again. And hopefully we get some good racing. Some people don't like it as much when we do the proper racing, more proper racing oriented random races, but there's a lot of people that do as well, and I certainly do. I like that sometimes it's not all just about luck and there is some skill involved. Stromberg Street, this is definitely Sports Classics A. Qualified and therefore started the race fourth. I think it would be good if I can maintain a top 5, because the first lap did not go very well off the line. But it would be nice to try and improve on that fourth, maybe get a podium. I'm not going to know until the end. So the lap times we were getting in the previous race that we just did to work out the grid was in Sports Classics A, and the lap times were about 1 minute 12, 1 minute 13. I just got a 1 minute 14 there with the Stromberg. So my best lap before that was a 16:17. So it looks like Sports Classics B are about 3 or 4 seconds per lap slower than Sports Classics A. Good to know. It's not a massive difference. We should do a random class race at some point where the gap is a bit bigger as well. Just choose like 2 classes and put all of the cars from the classes in. Or a selection of them. Now that we can have custom classes. Like 8 supercars. And then 8... I don't know. Not too big of a pace difference, but enough that it really closes up by the end. Kind of the same as what we did with the F1 cars versus the Dozers. It ended up being a good concept. Just the gap in performance was too big. This is the car that I was driving in that qualifying race, so I should know what I'm doing in this one. Top 5 seem pretty close still.
Oh, what a scumbag!
Boost there through lag. I think the Casco is Classics B, so if I can get past, that would be handy. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's A. I don't know. Zion Classic. Not the biggest fan of this car, to be honest. In vanilla or here. Casco is B. Good. Thank you for the clarification. I think this is B as well. Stinger behind me, that's B. We'll get them all by the end. Pretty close between second and third. First has a little bit of a gap. It seems like the top 5 have a big gap. 6th place is just on the right on the map now. It would be nicer in vanilla if it didn't have the advanced handling flags. That's true. This actually hasn't been too bad of a lap. I've enjoyed the way that this has drove on this lap. It hasn't been too bad. I think I've been... my opinion has been sullied a little bit by the vanilla version of the car, because it's not good. Some really nice Sports Classics cars. It's my favourite class. We won't be seeing the Z-Type or the Roosevelts in this one. They're in their own class. I can't remember what class they're in though. Vintage, is it? On Project Homecoming? But obviously we are going to see a lot of unique cars as well. And then things like the Turismo Classic and the Cheetah Classic, the more modern sports classics that really should be in the Supers Classics class if one existed. I think they are actually in the Supers Classics class on Project Homecoming. Mamba. Tricky brakes. So these are the proper sports classics, these ones. Good back markering, by the way, from the back markers. Paying attention to blue flags. Retro Supers, that's what the class is called. It's got the Turismo Classic and things like that. Don't slow down on the apex! Just as I said, good back markering from the back markers. The Mamba with a roof just doesn't look right. I agree with that statement. Topless Mamba is the best. For Halloween, he chose to be an apex. Halloween's past now, it's gone. I'm enjoying this. I know people won't, like when it goes to YouTube. Plenty of people will, but a lot of people would have clicked off by this point, I imagine. There's not a lot is happening between the top 5 in terms of changing of positions and things. It will. It will all come back again towards the end, and there's always potential. There's a lot of back markers who we might catch up. But I'm just enjoying it, man. This is just, I'm driving fantastic cars in a random race that actually has an element of skill. So I get a different car every lap. But I'm also going up against other drivers where by the end of the race it will all be equal. And this is how races can be sometimes. Sometimes there's a mid-race lull. I'm just enjoying the driving. Stinger into the Stinger GT. I think that was my best Classics B lap. That's 16.0. I love the Stingers, to be fair. Both Stingers. Wonderful cars. Liveries on the Stinger GT in Project Homecoming. Beautiful. Oh, that's a big old crash. Dropped off from the top 3 now. Hopefully I'll bring that back when I get some of the better cars later on. I don't know whether Pagani's in A or B. I would assume A. It's got too much grip to be anywhere else. If you were to slow it down enough to be B, I feel like it would take away from what the Pagani is. Just a front wheel drive grip machine. It is in A, okay. At least it's a front wheel drive grip machine in comparison to the other sports classics. At least the classic sports classics. Not the Turismos and stuff anymore, but the sports classics class from back in the day. I don't believe that the Pigali is in A and the Sterling GT is in B. That was my best lap. The thing is that the Sterling GT on Project Homecoming, it looks like it doesn't have the spoiler, or it felt like it doesn't have the spoiler. Well, it might have been changed completely actually, because it felt slower than what it would even if it didn't have the spoiler boost. The Sterling GT should have always been perfectly on pace with the Sports Classics. I can't believe they made the rear wheel a spoiler. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit dicey as we're coming up to the back markers. They're racing each other too, but there are blue flags. Mostly good back markering. Oh, that's some heinous understeer. Gonna have to get through the traffic. I think the top three hasn't really changed much. This is a cute little car. This is also when things get a little bit difficult as well. If say I'm in a Sports Classics B car and there's a back marker behind me in an A car.
Oh, what a scumbag!
So he's quicker than me, but I've just overtaken him because he's a back marker. That's where things get a little bit dicey. I think that's the case behind right now.
Double scumbag!
Double scumbag. Thank you guys, I'll catch up with it at the end. Oh, not driving this car very well. What was this again? What's the Michele GT? I always forget the Michele GT. I mean, I don't like it, really. I don't even like the way it drives without the advanced handling flags on Project Homecoming. It's a lot better than it is on vanilla, but... Alright, ZR150. That's pointy on the front end. I'm learning some of these cars as I go as well. Some of them I've probably only driven once in like a one lap of a random all or something. The top three look pretty close. I think I've dropped off the back a little bit, to be honest. I don't know whether I'll be able to get back on pace with that top three by the end. I'm not convinced I've been driving well enough. So it might be a lonely race for me in fourth, but we'll see. You can do it. I appreciate the confidence in the chat, but I don't know. We'll see. Might end up finishing where I started. Thing is, I just don't know at this point. Top three could have had more of the Sports Classics A cars than I have. Or they might have just been driving better, you know. It's impossible to know. That's what makes these random class races so much fun. Because it is all going to close up towards the end and then it gets really tense, but you just don't know what anyone else has had.
He's a scumbag! He's an absolute scumbag!
around the 22nd place who I'm lapping at the minute. How do the coloured icons work on the Project Homecoming map? If it's green, it's somebody who you're lapping. If it's blue, it's somebody who's coming up to lap you. And the top 5 in the race get their own colours. Red, purple, is it pink? I don't know what 4th place is. Brown is 5th place. "15 seconds behind the top 3 now." Tunic has caught me up a lot in this battle over 4th. Hey, a Ron car. Beautiful. I wonder if Tunic got all of the bad cars early on. He's coming back through now. Yeah, it's so small. It's such a tiny little car. I don't know how I'm going to be able to defend from Tunic in this Sports Classics A vehicle that he's got, because it's just wherever I am, I'm leaving a massive gap because the car is so small. Just park it in the middle of the road. Managed to defend just enough. Alright, 6 laps left, 6 cars. GT 500 to start us off for the final 6 laps. Tunic had the overspeed from that Stromberg. Now he's in the Serena that I've just been in. "20 seconds ahead of 6th place though. So the top 5 have really been away with it, but top 3 even more so, unless they've got all bad cars to come. It might just be me and Tunic battling over this 4th place. At least I'm not lonely. Coquette Phobos. This is one of my favourite cars. Sounds great, feels great to drive. A lot of fun, this one. As the sun sets. Looks good with the racing helmet on. Like that. This is one of the most aesthetically pleasing races I've ever witnessed. The cars, the setting, the sunset. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's been nice, this one. The Casco. A lot of back markers. Doing well though, blue flags working well. Drivers adhering to them. I can't be disappointed with a performance where I'm like overtaking back markers who are in like 15th place or whatever it is, like on the verges of top 20. But I haven't had an answer for the top 3 today. Alright, 3 more to go. Monroe. What have I got left? Is the Glendale Holland Foyer, or whatever it's called. I can't say it properly. That's... Oh, come on. I love the Monroe. What a machine. This has been a lovely race. A little bit uneventful, just through the nature of the way that we were gridded up in, you know, finishing positions from the previous race. So we already had the quicker guys at the front and things like that. Still fighting tonic over this 4th place. Never really been in contention for the top 3. So my performance hasn't been fantastic, but it's just been a lovely race to drive. Comet Retro versus a Mamba behind me. I need to pull away on this lap. That's not how we do it. Oh, I'm not handling this Comet very well. Hit the invisible bush. Yeah, I haven't gotten the most out of some of these cars. We got 1 more lap to go. Can I keep 4th place and finish where I started? I've got a 2-second gap. The JB700W, I forgot about it. This is Sports Classics A. On the final lap, we get Sean Connery's James Bond iconic car. Rest in peace. Rip Sean Connery. What a legend. What a way to end. Not going to be a podium. Well, this has been one of the nicest races that I've had the pleasure of enjoying when it comes to random races on this server. Wasn't the most crazy or eventful. It was just nice. And of course, Harry won. But you can't say it's not because of you can't say it's because of luck this time, like he's done with those random races. Everyone had the same cars, so he won on merit this time. Close lap times for the top 3. I just didn't have the pace in this one.
Scumbag.
I think I had there was only the consistency that kept me into 4th place. Me and Tunic were having our own little race, really. Everyone else was a lap down from the leader, it looks like. So we had 8 people on the lead lap in the end. Crazy. Fun, really fun race. I enjoyed that. I love that class.